Hey guys, it's Alpharad, and it's been requested that you guys want an editing tutorial, so I thought I might as well do one. And this footage is specifically for this video. And you see this, let's say this is a clip that's very memorable and there's high level play on both ends and you want to save it forever. So just go through this stuff. And I always save the replays. I don't like recording through the game, but when you save replays, make sure you turn the music down so you can edit everything together. So now we're going to Vault Replays, and now we're in Final Cut. So I've already imported everything, so you guys don't have to watch me do that. But here I'm just going through footage, just skimming back and forth through it, seeing where I want to start the clip. Because this video is going to start with Villager pocketing Samus's fully charged neutral B. And he jumps, and gets it. And then I press O, which sets an out point. I and O in any editing software typically set in and out points, and then you can drop them into your project. In Final Cut, you can press E to drop it to the end of the project. And now I'm looking for the next clip, and I set an O right there. Also, another universal hotkey is using JKL, where J is reverse, K is pause, and L is play/forward. And again, I'm going through clips, and I'm just going to skip through me logging footage and everything. Yeah, so here's an example of me using JKL to find where I need to put the in and out, respectively. Okay. And this is me going through footage, and you can use the arrow keys to go left and right, and if you press up and down, they'll take you to the next edit point you have. Okay, so I'm starting to get all my clips down here, and this is kind of the roughest draft you could possibly have. So, as all how-to videos, I'm going to drop in the blueprint template I have right there. So I'm going to drop it there and scale it to where there's no black on the screen. And I'm going to get in the corner like I always do and keyframe it, which is that little button up there. And keyframing it allows me to move it, like how I do with the text, is move this from this point to this point. It's just moving things from point A to point B, and you're telling the computer where you want it to go. Because at the end of the clip, I want it to end there. And since I don't want any momentum to change while I'm doing it, I'm going to enhance, like lengthen the blueprint and then cut it down so it's just one smooth transition. And you saw I added a blur there just so the logo really stands out more, but that blur is a little strong. It's stronger than I like it to be. I like it to be where it separates the layers, but you can still see the white lines because the lines would blur together. So here we have it where I pocket, run in, and then it goes to the logo. So now I need to edit this. And I'm going to zoom in on Villager, and eventually I'm going to throw in the psycho violin screech sound effect. But right now I'm just keyframing it so where it follows Villager's every move. And again, this is simple keyframing of just moving the frame where the character is. And right there you can see how some black's shown up because I didn't keyframe every frame. So I'm just going to move that and everything's fine. So I also want the screen to turn red as Villager from when he pockets it. So I'm going to put a tint effect on it and bring the amount down to 0, change the color to red, and add a keyframe. And then when he holds it, I'm going to raise it to about 50 or so, and then about 70 by the time he lands. So in the meantime, I did add the sound effects, and that's what it looks like. Because Villager with a weapon like that is deadly and terrifying. Okay. So I added music. I messed around with the music for about a while, so I didn't want to show all of that. And there we go. The music definitely works. And I'm going to add a golf hit sound effect like I do in most videos. And just after the title, I always make the music lower so you can focus on the gameplay more. And I'm going to bring it back a little bit because the golf hit really helps distinguish the two, but oh well. And you saw that I paused it and cut more because less is more, and you need to cut right here. You see there's about 6 frames I cut, and even though that's not number-wise not essential, but it's important because that's time the viewer doesn't have to be bored. And now you see I have 2 clips that both star Mario versus Villager. And I don't like to have the same stage back and forth or the same character back and forth, so I'm going to split these up on the timeline. And you see I also have 2 Falcon clips near each other, so I'm just going to put that one in the middle and move this to the beginning. Okay, and I also extended this clip so you have your typical how to play victory screen. And I also sped this up because this isn't like most how to plays. This is purely for editing purposes. So I'm just going to speed everything through, and I like to be consistent with my victory screens. So I'm going to put Sonic's Live and Learn and hit again. And turn it down a little bit. Look how fast Villager claps because I sped it up. Okay. And now, if you don't know, this is from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. That's also where the violin screeches come from. And I'm not just putting a random woman in the shower into my video. So I'm just going to have her, I'm going to keyframe her into the video by making her slowly come in from the side and then just vibrate a lot, if you will. That's not the correct term, but you know what I mean. She's going to intensify, I should say. So it's an earthquake effect. That's actually what it's called. And I'm going to raise the amount so where she just kind of freaks out whenever she comes in. Just very slowly, very subtle. Okay. And I'm going to crop it down a little bit. Now I'm going to focus on other clips. And this is where Mario capes the tree back of Villager. And I'm just going to put a recycle symbol on it because green, tree, jokes, why not? I don't really understand half of the jokes I do. They just kind of happen. So this is going to be one of those epic. This is my MLG folder. Yes, I absolutely do have an MLG folder. And here's my air horn. So I'm going to put the air horn on the side because if I put it on the other side, I have to turn it around. The text would be backwards. So I usually always have the air horn on the right side just because backwards text looks bad. And now I'm going to put the recycling sign over here. And I'm going to put my first text. So I need to grab a basic text, lengthen it to how far it needs to be. And I'm going to put another one right there just as a spare. And I'll get to that later. So I'm going to put my typical capo he please nerf. And I'm going to use 8-Bit Wonder, which is a font I downloaded from dafont.com. That's D as in dog, AFONT.com. You can get any font you need, and it's the greatest website. So I'm going to do as I did to other things and add an earthquake to it, which will just make it move a lot. And since it's text, I don't like there to be different layers because it's just hard to read. In text, you're supposed to read it. So that's what happens, and I'm going to add earthquakes to the air horn and the recycling symbol. And I need to really bring up the intensity a lot. So now we have everything moving, but we're missing something very essential. Let me get my MLG horn sound effect. Okay. And bring it down because this volume peaks a lot. Man, that's music to my ears. Let me get a Falcon Punch, but I'm going to put books over Ike because hard ass reads. And I'm just going to edit that over him. This is also simple keyframing. I'm just putting it over Ike's body and turning it as he moves. And the nice thing about keyframing is if you leave like 5 frames in the middle where you don't keyframe anything, it'll just kind of fill in the blank and just assume where to put things, which it's usually right, but going through just to confirm will never hurt. Okay. Now this is some of the trickier editing. I'm editing this clip. You can get voice clips from the game. That's just helpful information to know. So I'm going to edit my whole uprising type thing with the encounter of Shulk and Dark Pit again. So I'm gonna get Dark Pit talking to Shulk, just like in How to Play Shulk. And now I have some new character art that I'm going to drop in. And I'm going to shrink this down because if you've played Uprising, characters will pop in from the left and right corner. The hero is always in the right, being Pit. And he's going to come in. I'm going to flip Shulk so he's actually looking at Dark Pit when he comes out. And I'm going to do a simple keyframe of having him just burst into screen. Because now...
Let's keep up the pressure!
So now I need to get my Dark Pit and drop it in here. And Dark Pit's looking grungy as usual. I'm going to size him down to about 80%. And again, I'm just going to do my thing of where I keyframe about 3 or 4 frames and just have him slide in.
It's not over! Behold the power of the Monado!
And now I'm just going to switch out Shulk's character art, which I like to overlap them at first so I can see where I need to put this one specifically. And this editing technique is very situational. Like, you're not going to be faced with this very often. This is just for the joke of the whole Uprising dialogue type thing and kind of watching characters interact with each other. I'm going to put Shulk with the book because that's the greatest picture I've ever seen, and it's so relevant for Smash, and I love it. Okay, so I'm also extending this clip so you can hear Shulk's voice clip a little longer. I mean, and also see it, because visuals help.
Let's keep up the pressure! It's not over! Behold the power of the Monado! Goodbye! That was too easy!
And also, you always want to focus on your audio, because professionals say that audio is...
Goodbye! That was too easy!
They say audio is 51% of your film. Just because if you're watching an old TV, and let's say the visuals are a little blurry, you'll watch it. You'll still watch it. But if the audio is loud or if the audio is out of sync, you won't watch it. So audio is more important than visuals when it comes to film. And so I'm just gonna look through this real quick, and I'm gonna start editing text, the RuneScape text, that is. So, but no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna move everything around because text-based videos are, I have clips that are text-based and then I have edits like this. So I really like to alternate it so it's just not text, 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 edit, edit, edit. If you notice in any of my videos, I like to alternate it back and forth of edited clips and just text-oriented clips. So now I'm actually making the RuneScape text, and I always put an outline on it that's black and the text is always white. And I always keep a spare of the text file just so I have it in case I fill my clipboard with something else. And I always just turn it off with V for visible. And so now I'm going to start keyframing text, and I'm just going to start them off with saying, hey, hey. And I'm going to keyframe it above villager. And I usually just go about 2 or 3 frames so I don't have to rely on the computer too much when I'm using the autofill frame option thing. And now I'm just going to shorten the text because hey is a fairly simple word, and the length of how long you have a phrase on there should be proportional to how long the phrase is. If it's something short like hey, you don't need it to be up there for longer than about half a second. And like come here often, 3 words. If you notice it, it's about 3 times longer than hey. 2 times, excuse me. I cut it down. So now I'm going to drop another one. And this one's going to be fairly long because it's going to poke fun at Samus's playstyle. And I don't like having multiple lines in how to play, but sometimes it's all you can really do. So I'm just going to kind of block this together and throw it above villager. And again, you can just, after you get one keyframe going, you don't have to click anything, you just have to move it every frame you want it to move. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the big edits. And, okay, I'm going to put another one, villager hype. No, no, no. Pocket like it's hot. I like to put apostrophes in words like it's, because it's with an apostrophe and without an apostrophe is different things. But I probably won't do it with like can't and doesn't, because there's not a can't without an apostrophe, so I seem less uneducated this way. Okay, that villager snap is too perfect, so I'm going to have to completely reverse my edit and focus on that, because that clip's too funny. I edited it because it was a lot of work to redo everything, and I don't want you guys to watch me do that. But the thing about editing is that you can make mistakes. Okay, and I just dropped Happy Feet Wombo Combo because I have to. So, if he says that ain't Falco, at the time I hit him, which that phrase obviously isn't as climactic as it could be, so I'm gonna look for the whole oh and just cut it down and merge that with the other audio clip, just so it bounces around less, I guess, and cut it down to the clip. Okay, and now I'm editing the next clip, and I'm going to put the whole Earthbound smash on it. When he does the up B and hits Luigi, I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to rotate it a little bit, but I'm going to add an earthquake just because in the game it moves, not much, but I'm going to make it move more. And I'm just going to make it follow Ness. I need to go back. Okay. And rotate a little bit so it's a little more over Ness, and especially in the direction he's facing. Okay, and I'm gonna drop the sound effect for the smash, but this is obviously more than I need, so I'm just gonna edit that much just to be safe, and then drop the sound effect when it comes up, and turn it down because it's gonna be really loud. So prepare yourself. All right, it's still gonna be loud, and that shows me that it's obviously a lot shorter than I needed it to be. So I'm gonna take everything down. And I can turn the audio down a little bit. You really have to watch that. Because if you get sound effects from the internet, sometimes they can just be completely distorted and really loud. Like unnecessarily loud. Okay. So now I'm just editing text, which is nothing you haven't seen me do already. And I'm moving it until I get to the whole air horn, recycling, hype, and everything. And then I'm just going to move it back. Alright, and this is, again, the same thing I've been doing. I'm just going to make him say, nah, cape still OP, or it's still OP. Yeah, something along that line. And I use the text mainly. I don't like that clip, actually. You can take clips out if you just decide you don't like it. Like, I mean, power to you. I'm going to take it out. Alright. And again, editing text. And this is me editing text on the last clip. If you can't tell, a lot of how to play is just me sitting down and editing text. But I started using text because in my first How to Play 101, Villager, Villager has a lot of drawn out combos, and I kind of wanted to showcase the whole combo, but it was boring to watch. So I just put text over it because it keeps you entertained while you're watching these clips that are longer than they need to be, or longer than they should be. So keeping things like that on screen is obviously helpful. Like, it's not needed. If you want to make a combo montage that just shows off your combos, you don't need this. You definitely don't need this. But if you are going for comedy, your main focus is to keep them entertained. And I'm going to get a villager icon, and if you go to smashbros.com, you can get great HD village, like any character cutout, and it's probably the best ones you can get, and you can just save them right off the website. So if you didn't know that, that's definitely an option. So I'm just going to have villager pop up and then have that bowling ball roll over, because I reflected the bowling ball with the cape, and I think that's hilarious. Cape is really OP. So I'm just going to keyframe Villager. I already made him pop up. And now I need to edit him falling and getting hit by the bowling ball. And if you can't tell, I'm obviously commentating this, or I guess narrating this after I edited. So I'm going to tell you in advance that I fucked up. I did the keyframing wrong on this one. And I'm looking for a sound effect right now, but I'll get back to the keyframing in a second. I'm just looking for a sound effect that sounds good when Villager gets hit. I ended up on using that body hit. And see, I didn't put a keyframe in the middle, so Villager goes from popping up to the first keyframe I made when he starts to get hit. So I just take the frame before that and just move it back into place. It's an easy fix, but it happens to everyone. So now I'm just looking for where to drop the sound effect. He gets hit right there, so I'm just gonna put it right there. Turn it up a little bit though, because sound effects, especially hits, they're quiet. And I'm gonna end the music right when you see the clouds come out, or whatever the explosion is whenever a character dies. So, but now I really want emphasis to be drawn on the bowling ball hitting him, so I'm gonna move it to where the sound effect starts as soon as the music ends. And then we go into this. And with that, we're done. So I'm just going to play over it real quick. So, thank you guys for supporting me so much to be able to do editing tutorials. If you've watched this whole video, thank you so much. That's really cool. I really appreciate you wanting to become a better editor. And I'm not a great editor by any means, but I've kind of just mastered my art and what I'm doing. So I appreciate it. And this video was short, obviously. I mean, not this 20-minute editing tutorial, a standard how to play 101. I purely made that video just so I could teach you guys how to edit, because I didn't want to edit like a 3-minute video and just have it 40 minutes. So thank you guys, and if you want another tutorial on like editing thumbnails or something like that, just let me know. I appreciate this, guys, and I'm going to export it and upload it the same day I do this one. So thank you guys, and have a great day as always.